Yeah, which camera?
Oh, this camera.
There we go. Go for it.
Hi, everybody. We're here for our second AMA. We're in beautiful downtown Los Angeles, California, in an undisclosed location. I'm here with Humpty, Julian, Chris, Nathan, Danny. Is anybody else around, guys?
That's it for right now.
That's it for right now. Some of the other members might join us as we're moving along here. But yeah, I'm going to give it to Julian. He's going to start listing off some questions, and we're going to answer whatever you guys have for us.
All right, cool. So, hey, everybody. So we got a lot of big announcements going on this week. We're obviously going to touch base on the SEEDGerminator, which came out today.
Exciting.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We're going to be touching base on the GRSR, the whole new reward structure, how people are coming in as super representatives now, the plan in regards to that.
Keeping it interesting.
Yep. And then we're gonna touch base with the entire team and talk about some of the projects we have going on, where we're at with everything. You'll all get to meet, say hi to everybody, and that's it. Okay.
Cool.
So we go ahead and where should we start? Go ahead and get started on the Germinator.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start today.
All right, cool.
Want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll kick it off, and then I'll probably pass this over to Chris to talk about. Basically, it's something that we've been working on for quite some time. You know, it's this is a very cool idea for us to take that 10% reward we're going to be receiving from the node, and we're going to be passing it off to the community to vote on. But what's different about this, what's so unique about this, is we're incentivizing projects, developers that want to develop on the Tron platform to come in with good ideas and pitch them to the community, to work with the Tron community and basically say, hey, this is our idea. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? How can we change that? How can this be a better project for everyone? That are supported. Sesame Seed is going to take from that 10% fund to basically accelerate these things down the Tron pipeline, and it's a cool idea.
Right. It's exciting. You know, I think, and Humpty brought this up recently, you know, kind of, you know, allows a lot of us an opportunity to experience something we normally wouldn't have the ability to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean, tons of these, you know, the traditional way for a project to get investment is they go into a board, they go into a room, and they sell the idea to a handful of people that are investing. But we're not doing that. We're telling them, if this is a great idea that the community wants, the community is going to say, give it to us, and we're going to fund it based on what the community responds to. So that's kind of the opening point of it. Obviously, this Germinator project goes well beyond that. You know, we do have the ability for we do incentivize our the projects that utilize the SEEDGerminator to allow the community to invest in it as well. So the community is going to be able to use their Sesame Seed earned tokens, seed tokens, on the Tron network to invest directly in these projects themselves. If they say a project comes out with an ICO of some kind on the Tron network, we're going to be working with them to do things like discounted ICO rates for Sesame Seed members, allow conversions of Sesame Seed tokens into their token. But there's a lot more to go on about the subject, so I could talk about it for a while, but I'm going to pass this off to Chris to go on ahead, because he was there it was he and I that we've been talking about this for a while. So why don't you take it away, Chris?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I taking away here, Julian? I must have missed something.
Oh, the whole SEEDGerminator project, what it's doing for the community, what it means for Sesame Seed, what it means for Tron and developers.
Well, in a nutshell here, you look at Tron and how many apps are on Tron currently? 10?
Yeah.
Something, 9, 10 apps. You go to the Apple store and how many apps are in the Apple store? I mean, I haven't looked in a while, but thousands or hundreds of thousands. I don't know. So basically, what this SEEDGerminator is going to do is really be a starting point for Tron to catch up to people like Apple and Google. We need to start building awesome apps on Tron, and the way that's going to happen is if the community funds developers to build these, to make Tron, the next big thing. And that's what I'm really most excited about, is just being able to take these great ideas that whomever may have and say, hey, listen, this is great. We're going to give you this much money. And as a kickback, the community is not only going to be able to get into early funding of these projects, but once these developers start putting these great projects on the Tron platform, what's that going to do to the price of TRX? It's going to make it go up, and that's going to make all of us very happy, I would assume.
Great. That's excellent. Humpty, do you have anything to add to that regarding to the Germinator, where we're at, like how we're kind of going to push forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the SEEDGerminator is a great opportunity for everyone, especially Tron. At this moment, it's still so early in the game. So I think that to be able to provide something like this for the community really represents exactly who we are, which is to actively involve the community in everything that we do. It isn't just about the reward. 80% is great. I'm sure a big part of our membership is composed of people that are really excited for that 80%. But at the end of the day, this is really a huge opportunity to make Tron's vision a reality. And with what SEEDGerminator is proposing to do, we can do exactly that. We can onboard developers, have them connect with a very active community, a very focused community, and to be able to then get funded and potentially, reward the community even further from those projects. So I'm super excited, not just to be a part of the leadership that is planning this, but to also be an investor and potentially, be along with the community, making these decisions as a group.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. Awesome. So yeah, guys, shoot your questions over. And anything that you have here on the SEEDGerminator project, we'd love to answer. But we're getting a couple of questions in here that we would like to address.
If I can chime in, Julian, can I have a bit of a say?
Sure. Please.
I think that the Germinator also adds. Sorry, hi, I'm Nathan, another member of the Sesame Seed team. I think that the Germinator adds utility to the Sesame Seed token. A lot of people thought that the seed was an unnecessary step. It was making things more complicated. It was making it harder to utilize the reward system. But I think actually giving someone the power to say, out of my 80% reward, I will keep 60% and invest 20 is actually really big. And all to do it through the one token. So I have the rewards distributed and also the investment ability through the token is quite important. And those tokens will, in the future, also become more utilized. There'll be more utility added to the tokens. I think the tokens will become a massive part of the Sesame Seed dynamic.
Cool. No, absolutely right. Thank you, Nathan. I really appreciate it. So, you know, we're getting a couple of questions in here on the GR as well as on voting. So I'm probably going to go ahead and ask you to take away some of these voting questions, but I'll start with the GR. The question that we have here is this is from iCartic. I apologize for that. The question that we have on that is Sesame Seed participating selected as a GR? You know, so obviously for those that don't know, the GR process, the Genesis representative process, is going on now. It's kicked off I believe 2 nights ago. I've had a lot of very late nights on this with some of our technical team, as well as technical teams with other communities around the world. The Sesame Seed is participating in GR along with some other communities. We've been testing, bringing our nodes online and sync together, producing blocks, processing some test transactions, and it's you know, obviously the GRs are highly anonymous in the way that they show on Tron Scan today. We have done exceptionally well.
So I was going to ask how good, you know, if it was going good or.
Yeah, we're doing exceptionally well. We were very, very well prepared. The other communities that we've been working with have been awesome. A lot of really smart people out there, and we've collaborated well, and we were very, very prepared for this. So those tests are going on. I believe they're finishing today, so that we can hopefully hear soon about the selection process. What was provided in Justin Sun's update on the GRs was that those that produce at above 99% would 99% success rate of generating blocks could potentially be selected as GRs. We are certainly over that threshold. We're doing extremely well. So we look good to be selected as a GR. Just so everyone's aware of what that means. If you're selected as a GR, what's going to happen is you'll be a Genesis representative during the mainnet launch. Tron is going to be depositing 100 million Tron power into the accounts of all of the GRs, which they're going to use to operate that initial position. GRs will not be generating rewards. They won't be eligible for that. They're strictly there to hold that place. Then, when there's the launch, that allows the election of an SR. SRs are elected to replace that. So we'll be operating a GR, provided that we have a very successful process, which so far we have, and we'll be operating as an SR to come in and replace ourselves. So we feel great. We feel great about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good. So that kind of brings us into our question here on voting. Nathan, because apparently the camera loves you, according to
looking sharp.
According to Mr. Williams here, the camera loves you, Nathan. So we're gonna bring this one to you.
Is that your dad?
Sounds good. Yeah, it's my dad. Thanks.
So
thanks, Dad.
So the question that we have here was about voting. How long is the SR voting going on? How often can I vote? How long do you need to leave your TRX in your wallet to vote for Sesame Seeds? Why don't you go ahead and answer these?
So from what I understand, the timing for the vote is going to be every 6 hours now, isn't it? It's changed to 6 hourly.
Yes.
And I'm from what I understand, you have to freeze the votes for a minimum of 3 days, in which case you can't touch it or take it out. Over those 3 days, you can continually vote auto vote for your SR you want to stay in the role. And once the 3 days are up, you can then unfreeze and take them out. But I don't think you can still vote, can you, Julian, if you unfreeze a TRX?
So what basically happens with the TRX in regards to freezing is you freeze your TRX for 3 days. Afterwards, you can move it. You can do whatever you want with it, and you can continue to vote. When you freeze the TRX, you produce Tron power, and Tron power is your voting ability. So as long as your TRX is in your Tron wallet, you have your Tron power, and you can, after those 3 days, on an instant, you can move it. You can change your votes, as you said, every 6 hours, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can vote. You can continue to vote for Sesame Seed as long as you'd like. This is going to be a very long-term process. As far as we know, this is how Tron is going to operate these nodes indefinitely. Yeah, cool. So that's great. So I have here a. Let's see here. You know what? Maybe we should ask. Maybe we should introduce Danny.
Yeah, of course.
A bit.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and call you in here. Why don't you do us a favor? Do you want to talk to us a little bit about your role in Sesame Seed? Some of the projects you've been working on, where you see this. How you feel about the about the team, what direction we're going in next, some of the things that we're working on.
So I've been with Sesame Seed since early May, and I've been mainly in charge or helping in design and videos. Some of the things some of the things that we will work on in the future is how-to videos and like how to vote, what is Sesame Seed, and what is the Sesame Seed token, and everything video. We will anything that as a team. We have a very skillful staff, very skillful contributors that are from community that are helping us with everything. They're doing a tremendous job. You guys will see a lot of videos coming out soon that we've been working on.
Cool, that's great. This actually leads in pretty well to kind of more of our explainers and outreach to the community.
Yep.
Kartik has a few questions about how we're going to be outreaching our community around the vote, informing them of what's going on, next steps, etc. Humpty, you want to?
Sure. This has been a really successful project because we've been working with the community directly, doing exactly this, asking questions, finding out exactly what it is that they're trying to learn, and also to try to find out how we can best serve them. So as far as our community outreach is concerned at the moment, has really been about trying to explain a lot about who we are, what our process is, what our reward models are. And I think we've been very successful at that. As far as the explainer videos, they're coming. We have a fantastic marketing team. Danny definitely is one of the leads in that team, where he's been helping with designing the videos and the sound editing. So it's been magnificent. And honestly, the biggest reason for our success is exactly that. There's been a lot of contributions from the community. The animations that just recently came out to explain SEEDGerminator were produced by members of the community. The voiceover, all of this gets produced by the community. So it has been a big task and a big effort to achieve what we've done so far, but it's not the end. It's only the beginning. We understand that there's some very technical things that the community would like answered, and we are working on exactly that to be able to provide you with a better, a better idea about how to, how you would vote, and just all the questions that we've been receiving so far.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think that you're kind of touching on the community, which has been really the kind of fuel that's led this entire project here. I think Mike, you've seen that. Chris, you've seen that a lot. Anything that what is your thought about all this, Mike?
Well, I mean, it's beautiful to watch. The team is very passionate and compassionate as well. If you want to, kind of come out. To see how hard everyone is working, it's humbling to me to even be considered part of the team, because everyone is just nonstop working, and it's just like wow. It's just like wow moments, and for me, being a part of some of these meetings that we have, in private, and just hearing some of the things that are said about what we're trying to do, it's so positive, and those moments don't happen in people's lives very often. So for me, it's just it's being a part of something positive with really great people. And I really mean that when I say it. And then, being in the chat and seeing the snowball that's rolling down a hill and building up is it's fun. It's cool to watch. We had Cody here. He helped us get to where we're sitting right now, and just sitting and getting to know him, and slinging him a shirt. It was fun. Oh, it was fun, and getting to know these guys. It's just it's an adventure, and I'm having a good time. That's how I feel about it.
You're so right. It's like you take a look at this live stream, and you compare it to the last one, which is incomparable. But I mean, at the end of the day, we had community members, just like everything else, step up and say, "That I know that I can fix that for these guys," and they step up. Nathan, Danny, Humpty, Mike, Stash, the whole team, and many, many more have just stepped up to help. This is a community project.
Yeah.
So I would be remiss if I didn't allow Chris to grace us with some of this. So I'll withhold there. Chris, why don't you give us your thoughts about this?
A tapestry of words.
Chris?
I'm sorry. You're asking for my thoughts on what?
On the community project, how this has been, how Sesame Seed has started with you and I chit-chatting about this and grown into what we see today.
Oh wow, that's quite a question. Well, it's really it's all the community. And Julian, you remember our initial conversations when we were like, okay, we want to do this. We were always super into Tron, and we knew we wanted to run for a super representative seat. And we said, how can we do this? And we're like, well, we're part of the community, and there's other people out there like us. So let's just get everyone on board, and let's have this open, transparent, fair community of people who all contribute and make Tron great. And it's working so well. It's really quite amazing, because we've had so many talented people come and join us, and it's not like there's no money going around. These people are just helping, just volunteering massive amounts of their time. We got a guy that just had a baby, and he's working his butt off, and all this just because they believe in the project, and is really incredible. So I'm so happy to be a part of this, and I'm so happy that the community is realizing what this project is, and is joining together, and this is going to be great, and I'm super happy and excited for the future.
Oh, that's great. That's fantastic, Chris. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's to your point, it's been a fantastic experience. It's been amazing to see people step up like this and get involved. Yeah. It's kind of, and I've told this to individual members here many times. It's like at the end of the day when Stash is posting his updates on the website, or Danny is showing what they're coming out with in terms of some of the contributors on animation or voiceovers or anything. It's just gives me like that momentum too, and it's like, oh my God, they're working. I need to keep going and just build momentum. It's the project itself is hugely rewarding just because of that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we talked a little bit about that earlier, where if we didn't like the people we worked with, we probably wouldn't be putting in as much effort as we are right now. And I think that's a big motivator for a lot of us. And I think that's kind of seeping out into the community, the fact that we are excited to do what we do. We're excited to work with one another. The community feels that. And, they're probably just as, or if not more engaged because of it. So, let us know if we need to be, more engaged.
Yeah.
Let us know if there's a product that needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
There's questions that get asked, on Telegram often, and we have a really amazing moderator crew, which is all of us. We jump on 24 hours a day. So just let us know. I mean, honestly, we know that there's room for improvement. In fact, if you're on YouTube, there are several poll questions that we encourage you to take. Some of those have to do with the SEEDGerminator. Some of those have to do with how we're communicating with you. It's a learning process for us, but honestly, it's also a fantastic opportunity to be able to serve the community.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Somebody's asking right now about how we afford, this kind of thing. How do we afford,
We're all crypto billionaires. I mean,
right?
let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
Making Bitcoin rain.
No, I think it's just what you're talking about. It's people that they just see it. It's like, Chris and I were out there, and when this first came out, we were looking around trying to find a community that we would respond to and that would involve us. This whole super representative thing is a huge opportunity. It's Tron saying, hey, we're going to give 37 million Tron a year away here. Mm-hmm. And we're opening our doors, and, of course, a lot of very heavy, wealthy hands raised. And we said to ourselves, man, it'd be so cool if people just took this, the community just really got involved and instead of it being a centralized thing, it's like an open group, which is, I think, what's led us, in terms of how we've been able to do all of these things, for those of you that have been sitting around watching us from the beginning, the hand-drawn logo by Chris, the free subscription to Squarespace, or the website we banged out there really quick. It's the same thing with it's the same thing on the technical side too. It's this on that side, it's been the same. We've had people step in that have offered help and have offered development assistance. That have really gotten us to where we are today. So, and
if I may kind of add to that and just kind of pose a question in return to that person who asked that, it's like, how can we afford not to? Honestly, mm-hmm. As you said, it was becoming an opportunity for people to centralize that and not involve the community. Mm-hmm. And Sesame Seed is exactly the opposite of that. It's about the community, engaging the community, but also having them actively participate in all of the processes of who we are. So, if it meant sacrificing this, that, or the other, would we do something differently? Probably not, because we all are invested in emotionally, physically, So, I mean, and I hope the community does recognize that, and I think they do, that we produce things regularly by being actively involved in conversations within ourselves, with our community, and with Tron themselves. You know, I mean, there's active dialogue there too, to find ways to improve on something that's pretty amazing. You know, decentralizing the web. That's not an easy ask. You know, I mean, ask Justin. I'm sure he knows that firsthand, obviously. So to be SEEDGerminator is a great opportunity to help launch or be a vehicle for that as well.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
It really opens the community to anyone, to anybody that wants to participate in these very exclusive, you know, often exclusive instead of inclusive investment strategies. You know, we're talking about like venture capital, and we're talking about you know these accelerator projects. We're talking about operating nodes. These are things that you know you're talking 7 figures to get into. It's not available to most.
Right.
And this is us all together. This is all of us saying, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and just take that.
Yeah.
Or we're just gonna screw you. We're the one that's buying the project. Maybe we should pick what's getting invested in. You know, it's like, so that's cool.
I mean, it's a representation of the decentralization model.
Yeah.
Right. It's exactly that. That's what Sesame Seed is, and that's honestly what wakes me up every morning.
Yep. And
keeps me from going to sleep every night. So it's a wonderful project to just be wholly invested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It could go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is great. This is something special.
Yeah.
Things have been changing a lot, you know, all the time. It's hard to keep up. Didn't something like change with rewards? Like, what's going on? I'm confused.
So that's a good point. I sent out an open letter to the community recently on the rewards here. This was a big change. Basically, Tron, you know, initially came out when this whole super representative process started and said, we're going to do, for anybody that produces blocks on the network, these 27 super representatives, we're going to reward them 32 Tron for every block generated at a rate of 1 per second, which is great. You know, so we of course built a reward model on our process and all these things around that, calculator on the website. That was changed very recently. And, you know, a lot of SRs were responded in a very, you know, shocked way. But at the end of the day, what they did was this: they took the total rewards and they did decrease them by a bit. But what they did now is they said half of the rewards are going to go to producing blocks.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Someone in the community actually asked that.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now is they're saying instead of a block being made every second, we're going to generate a block every 3 seconds. And half of the rewards are going to go to that, which is 32 Tron per block. So the 27 super representatives are going to, in sequence, produce a block each. And they'll be rewarded 32 Tron. That's where half of their rewards will go. The other half goes to all candidates. So anybody that operates a node on the network. Of the 127, there's 27 super representatives and 100 non-super representatives. They will split the other half of the reward. And they're going to split that in proportion to the votes that they receive. So let's just talk about this in a very naive way. That basically means if you receive 100% of the votes, you're going to receive 100% of the rewards, you know, and then likewise. It comes out to about 921,600 Tron per day is that half. And the other half goes to...
Do you recite numbers in your head when you're going to sleep?
I approximated that.
Count TRX.
And when he's driving.
Well, we were witness to that coming here.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
That just seemed like a great opportunity.
It was there. It was there. It's,
right. Of course.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's got to be divisible by 32, so I'm pretty close. plus or minus. No, I think that's dead on, but that's fine. Yeah. So it's really interesting because what that means, the negative response has been, well, the people with the most votes then can just take a lot of the rewards. You know, these top performing I shouldn't say performing, these top voted for super representatives are going to take a ton of votes. The bottom ones will not. And the bottom super representatives are going to receive far less. The top are going to receive far more, you know, which is tough. But at the same time, now everybody is incentivized to operate a node, even if you have a relatively small amount of votes cast.
Because you have 127 candidates.
Yeah, exactly. So it's at least spread around a little bit more. This whole GR process ties in a very interesting way, because if you recall, I'd mentioned GRs are going to be starting out with 100 million Tron power associated. So that's a big boost for people that are SRs that are a part of this GR process. They'll be able to basically get a huge jump in the race to become a super representative.
Right.
So that's what we're looking at. That's what's interesting for us.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, I think what's really wonderful about, you know, the 127 candidate model too, it further reinforces the decentralized model of Tron. I mean, that's a personal opinion. That's not a Sesame Seed opinion, but I think that's pretty wonderful. I mean, there's an opportunity for very many points of views to be represented and to be a part of a conversation that otherwise wouldn't be available to anyone.
Yeah.
So it's pretty great.
You know, I think it somewhat lowers the barrier to entry too,
Yeah,
right? Because you can
absolutely.
start off, you're
Yeah.
getting some rewards from voting.
Yeah.
So it allows a lot more competition,
Yep.
you know, in the
Yeah.
long run. So I think it's
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
a
good
point.
for everyone, you know, because no one can sit back because
Actually, yeah, I think that's a great incentive for the community to be involved with Tron as well, because each of these candidates puts pressure on the super representatives
and they're
to
right
be
there.
exactly
Yep.
to be genuine,
Yeah.
to be truthful,
Yeah.
And to meet the goals that they've set for themselves.
Right.
Sesame Seed doesn't accomplish what they set out to do. The community has power.
Right.
Same for every super representative that's out there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple more here from the team.
Yeah.
One of you guys want to hop in on this? Why don't you wave which of you wants to take it away?
Take it away.
Danny, Chris, you got anything to say?
I wish they were right up top.
Yeah, I wish everyone saw what we saw. It's
Well,
like the
I
Brady
tell you
Bunch
what,
screen
I tell
And
you what,
everyone's
there is
like-
a
boxed together, which is pretty great.
well. I tell you what, we do have a new question here that's come in. It's in regards to commenting on social outreach. This is from Yuan Chung, and it's basically asking, how can the community help? How can they help? Chris, I'm going to point at you.
Okay,
He's got it.
take a stab at that question. So how can the community help? Well, as far as this next phase of Sesame Seed Germinator, obviously we're in the very early stages of this, and there's a tremendous amount of work that needs to be done, and it's a tremendously important project. So right now, we've reached out to a few developers, but we have a pretty monumental task of really sorting through all of the different projects that people are going to approach us for funding for, because I mean, who doesn't want to have access to, I don't know how much it's going to be, but it'll be a substantial amount of investment for these developers. And we're going to need to first of all find these developers, or second of all filter through the good ones and the promising ones. And as community members, we could just keep our eyes out for interesting projects that we come across in daily internet searches, or talk around the water cooler. If you find a project that looks really cool, say, hey, you know, this guy's doing this or this team's doing that. Let's get in contact with them. This looks like a promising project for Sesame Seed to fund. And if we have 1,000 members or 2,000 members, and each one of them has her eyes out looking for projects they want to build on the Tron blockchain, that's certainly very helpful. Beyond that, we're a relatively small team now. We have positions that are going to need to be filled. I'm not certain exactly what positions, but obviously we look at the community first. For that's all we are at the moment. So we're going to need whoever has expertise in whatever area. And if you think this is something you want to be a part of, give us a shout out and say, hey, listen, I have these skills, and we'll see if we can implement them somewhere in the operation. Anyone else have anything to add to that?
I guess, I kind of do, Chris. I think, ultimately what Chris is saying is we need the community to promote us, that's the most simple thing you can do to help us, right? Because if you're out there promoting what we're doing, what we're trying to do, it's only going to help everybody,
Yep.
So the most fundamental thing anyone can do is just get the word out there, anybody.
Yep.
Just get it out there.
Yeah, and if I may add to that, I think, two things. Yes, promotion is awesome. I think that, honestly, the more that you reach out to your own communities, the more the people can come in, the Tron holders can come in and be a part of our community, invest into who we are, right? Vote for Sesame Seed. The larger the vote, the larger the reward for everyone. We just discussed the changes that Tron has made to the reward distribution for the super representatives, which actually ends up being an incentive for all of us to reach out to our individual communities to participate, to join Sesame Seed. So I feel that it is every one of our responsibility to go out to our own network and say, hey, look, maybe you're a Tron holder, maybe you're not, but check out Sesame Seed. This is who they are. And this is their track record. Make your own decision after that. I mean, if you don't choose to go with Sesame Seed.
Beautiful website.
I mean, Stash, Angel, what's up? Holler. But one more thing. We don't know what our needs are. So
yeah,
the fact is, your skill set may be something we're not even aware of that we need at the moment. So don't hesitate to reach out. When we were putting together our first couple of videos, we didn't know we needed Snowbeam. We didn't know we needed Spen. Yeah, Danny and I were churning out, animations and videos, but when they came in, they added an extra level of polish to what we were doing, and the community has gravitated to that. And it speaks to who we are, right? It's a high quality of the way that we distribute our information. So if you're asking how you can help, we don't know. Let us know how you can help, and then we'll let you know how we can involve you into what we're doing.
That's cool. Yeah, that's great.
Go ahead.
No, just kind of on that. We've had a lot of community members get involved. We have a question here from a longtime community member. I'm going to say from North Carolina, a hazy beer drinker, Blue Horse.
Come on down.
Yeah. He's been asking. He was asking about how do we about the voting for SEEDGerminator.
Yeah.
What's coming down the line? How is that going to happen? How often?
Yeah.
Are we going to be seeing like live updates and etc.? And
more questions coming in.
And we'll take that one first, and before we get to the next one.
Okay. Great.
So I guess how is the community going to interact on voting for these projects?
Well, that seems like a you or Angel question, but since he's not here,
Okay.
anyone else you'd like to defer to on that?
No, I can go ahead and answer that. That's
All right,
perfectly fine. So
you are a bit of you're a resident geek when it comes to that, and that's a compliment.
Okay. So so basically the voting is going to be conducted monthly. It's going to be a live structure. You're going to see projects listed in a similar way to how you see the SRs. We're going to have a list of our current projects. They will be responsible for campaigning to the community. They'll be incentivized to offer an incentive to the community, to interact with the community, answer questions, hold live AMAs, do all these things. So it's great. That'll be done throughout the month. At the end of the month, we're going to have a voting period where the community can step in and vote, one person, one vote, for the projects that they believe in the most. And
which could be the project from the previous month if they need more funding.
Yeah, projects can come in and ask for additional funds. They can ask for, it's up to them to justify to the community. Of course, we're going to ensure that the best ones come through, that meet our guidelines, that meet our requirements. Being beyond the prototype stage, this is something that's going to benefit Tron, the Tron network. But beyond that, we're just going to create the platform for the community to decide.
Okay,
very cool.
So there's some question. There's also another question from Blue Horse on the design, the colors, all of this. So Humpty, you kind of led that charge.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Wiz Khalifa fan, right? Black and yellow. Is that how we got here?
Yeah.
What's great though is that we've adopted some really faithful Steelers fans. They saw the colors and immediately gravitated to it. So, what up, Pittsburgh? But honestly, it was a very fun task to be able to do something like that. The idea honestly came from exactly what Sesame Seed is. It's a very energetic, it's a very exuberant, youthful type of process where it engages. So the process really came from that.
Yeah.
Or the idea came from that and became what Sesame Seed is today. The entire branding, and you see it come together in an amazing website that has been put together by our team. It's really a collaborative effort, but led by Stash and Angel. So I think they've done a magnificent job of that. It comes through in animations that grab your attention, but aren't just engaging; they're informative.
Yeah.
Led by Danny and Spen and Snowbee. So it's been a great experience to be able to produce something like that is able to trickle down into the rest of what Sesame Seed really is all about.
Well, I mean, it really comes back to the community here. And what you're talking about is who we are, which is we're open, we're inclusive. I've told this story internally a few times, and that's that I really liked that first logo. I thought it was perfect. And when so did Chris, he did too. He was in it.
I think he was the one that guffawed the loudest.
Yes. Yeah. He agrees.
Oh, he wants to say something. Hold on. Jump in, Chris. Come on in.
Full disclosure about that was not a hand drawn logo. At least I didn't draw it by hand.
Okay.
It's a hand traced.
Where that logo came from was I found a picture of a hamburger bun that was hand drawn, and I zoomed in on a sesame seed.
Is that why it was blurry?
Took a screenshot of that on my iPad, and then I sent it over to Julian, and that was the initial Sesame Seed logo. Now everyone has the whole story.
So just to elaborate on that, because I really like I really liked how much we liked that logo, and yet, you know, we started to grow the team from just you and I, Chris, at the time. We started to bring in, you know, Mike and Humpty and some of the others at the beginning, and we didn't want a new logo.
I know you guys fought me.
We fought him.
You fought me.
And then
I liked it. I liked the original one.
Well,
but this
Julian
one's
fought.
better.
Okay, but
Julian fought me.
But here's the deal. But here's what we realized, and this is like the special sauce. It was there is no individual here.
Exactly.
There's not. This is.
I was gonna add to that when you guys were talking.
Yeah.
Your brain's going everywhere, and it was like, you know, when this first started, and we're having like these meetings, and like no one knows about us yet. It's like, oh, we're gonna control it and do this, and then all of a sudden, you know, we get into it, and it's like it's an organism where you think you know where it's gonna go, and then you're just like pulled in a different direction. It's really cool.
It's so cool. Yeah, because it's like at the end of the day, that was what made us more successful.
Exactly.
As we said, we're open, we're inclusive, we're not experts across the board. There are community members that know a lot more than us about a lot of things.
Exactly.
And we'd be doing the community a disservice not to
Listen.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's fair to say, without naming any names, that the community has also contributed to ideas indirectly.
Yeah.
And sometimes even directly.
Yeah.
Without even being part of the administrative team.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're not gonna say who, but you know, Germinator.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Kind of cool where that came from. We're not gonna say.
It's a good idea.
But you know, it was brought into the group. It took a life of its own. And you know what? SEEDGerminator.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
It is.
I mean,
It's what you're alluding to is it's like the logo.
Yeah.
But it's like the whole thing.
Yeah.
There are times I've been talking to people on the Telegram chat and just gone, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
That would be better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's do that.
Exactly.
And then we take that idea, we kick it up.
What's that?
I said, bitch, be humble.
Yeah.
That's
We-
right.
We take these ideas and there's no like tip of the spear here. We take it, we kick it up to our leadership team, which is mostly people that are from the community now.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we float it around and we chop it up and it comes out solid. We throw it back down to the community and the community goes, oh, well, of course, because that's a great idea.
You know why? Because it originated from the community.
Yes.
So it's a great idea, not because it was ours.
No.
We developed it, of course,
Yeah.
into what is eventually released to the community. But it all starts with conversations that we have with everyone.
Yeah.
And so there was another question. I'm really trying to find it on Twitter. And I'm sorry, I want to give you a shout out for having asked this question because it's really good. But someone asked the question on Twitter about specifically what kind of dApps or development will happen or be funded by SEEDGerminator. And they asked particularly about a game. You know, will we fund games, right? I mean, is this all serious business? Are we going to be funding fun stuff? Is this, does it matter as long as it's on the Tron network? Are we funding just about anything?
Yeah, I think we're open.
Games are serious.
Games are great. It's a great way to utilize the network. Definitely.
The NBA is starting their own league, video game league. So it's serious.
Well, I mean, you look at the App Store, I guess, right? And the biggest drivers of its success are the games. So we're not going to turn our back on games, absolutely not. If you know of developers out there and you're in the community as well, let us know. You know, reach out to them, put them in touch with us, or you reach out to us directly, and we'll get together. We'll start talking to them about what we need to do. On our website today, actually, we just went live where you can actually submit information if you're interested.
Yes.
So just go to the website. Honestly, at that point, that's if you can contact any of us directly, but if you go to the website, that works as well. So check that out. Actually, there's a cool animation there. Thanks, Stash.
Yeah, thank you, Stash. No, you're right. Games are great. What I mean, we're just trying to help the
Hot
network.
dog, no hot dog.
Yeah.
No.
Not a hot dog. Not a hot dog.
I don't even know what that means. I don't know.
That's
We're good.
You know, yeah.
I'm usually living under a rock. So
Okay. Well, good.
yeah.
So I mean,
Oh, I see a hand. Chris is raising his hand.
Oh, Chris.
So we should be looking up at this because
I'm sorry.
Sure, and Danny, please do the same.
Yeah, Danny, you do the same thing.
Maybe next time we can put them.
Yeah, I just wanted to add some commentary about that last question regarding games being built on Tron. Yeah, I mean, and nothing is off the table. Whatever DApp is going to provide traffic, transactions, and user engagement on the Tron network, yeah, we'll fund whatever is going to be best for the Tron network. Absolutely. I mean, I see a ton of games going on Tron. They already have game.com as one of their 9 dApps that are currently on the network. But absolutely, I mean, I don't play video games myself, but I know they're very popular with a lot of people. So of course, yeah, what Sesame Seed's going to fund what the Sesame Seed community wants to fund, and it's really up to you guys. That's it.
Okay.
All right, great. So I think we're right there at the hour. So
I hope we develop some games. I mean, that would make me happy.
Yeah,
personally.
I honestly, I think that there's an opportunity to fund so many amazing experiences, so many different ways of just engaging with one another. You know, in a past life, I'm a developer as well. There are a lot of opportunities to create things that are different. You know, there are a lot of opportunities to communicate an idea differently.
Yep.
So I think the sky's the limit at this point. You know, this is really a fresh idea where we hope people will really come in droves, where we have to start a queue and say, wow, such a wealth of development willing to jump into this project. And, you know, honestly, I honestly don't think there's a wrong idea at this point.
No.
Yeah. But eventually voted on by the community.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So so on that note, I think we should wrap up here. But Danny, I'm going to turn this over to you. Do you have any final words of wisdom, anything you want to bestow on us in the community?
Honestly, the past month and a half has been amazing. The things I see have been amazing. I've never seen before. Every document that's put out, it's shared with everyone on the team to peer review. So everything's peer reviewed and well thought out before it's put out. And I think that's the key difference between us and other groups is we understand the responsibility of being a super representative on the Tron network, and we understand the responsibility of handling all the development and where Tron is going to go. And it's just the work has been amazing. I'm very excited for what's coming out after the election.
Yeah,
cool.
And we're gonna still keep putting out you know, new animations and videos with Danny's you know, leadership as well. So stay tuned. There's gonna be a lot of materials coming out. I mean, obviously we want to be informative, but we also want to be engaging. You know, we have some really huge dates coming up. You know, of course, starting with tomorrow, we have the Tron Foundation meetup, which you're going to be attending.
Yep.
So I think we're going to be live streaming. We're going to try to get that. So go to Twitter, follow us there, because Julian's going to be live streaming from the meetup, the first event that Tron Foundation is putting together.
Yep.
We have the Independence Day, you know, animation coming, and then we'll get the community involved. We'll get everybody really excited because honestly, this is a really exciting project.
Yep.
And then Election Day on the 26th. Keep your eyes on the UTC time, because just because it's the 26th, that's in China, you know, around the world, it could change. Here in LA, that's actually the 25th. So please keep that in mind, that dates, times do change. Don't vote on the 26th if you're in LA because you're a day late.
Yep.
So keep that in mind.
True. Great. Then we should wrap this up with some shout outs here.
Oh yeah.
You know what, Mark? Why don't you come on over here?
All right.
Say hi to everybody.
This
This is
our
the man behind the scenes.
AMA engineer. He put
Yeah.
together the entire technology to get us all
Thank you.
together.
Thanks. We got Alan over there in the room as well. Alan Freed.
Thank you.
He's way on the other side, but he's a big part of this too. He's watching everything that's happening.
Awesome. Thank you, Alan.
Come on,
Cody
man.
as
Come
well.
on.
And
Yeah,
then
get on in here,
Yeah,
buddy.
come here.
We had Cody
So-
here earlier.
Cody
you
was
know,
here before.
and he's the one
Hi.
of the photo
Say
with
hi.
the shirt
Yep.
on. You know, go ahead.
Hi, man.
Hey,
Thank you so much, Alan.
glad to
Mark?
be here. Best.
Yeah.
Best.
And
Cody?
Cody for getting us all together. Honestly, he was a community member. He's a Tron holder. He's actively involved in our
Yep.
conversations on Telegram. And he asked the same question: how can I get involved? But what he did differently was he reached out to us and said, "This is my skill set. This is what I can do." And he put us together, and we were able to provide a new type of experience with how we communicate and how we engage with our community. We are able to broadcast our team from around the world, and that's a huge opportunity. It's not just three guys
Yeah.
in someone's living room. We won't say whose, you know. But
Yeah.
this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And while we're on shoutouts, you know, of course, you've met a lot of people who are participating in the team here today. Stash couldn't make it. Huge part of our development team.
Yeah.
He's been leading a lot of the front end development. Angel, huge part of our back end development. Carl, he is the whiz.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how else to describe him. He's
Yep.
he's a technical whiz.
Yep.
We got Clay.
Yes.
You know, he's also helping us with leadership.
Mhm.
And then we have
Wonderful ideas.
Spen,
Yep.
who came in from the community. We started a collaborators group, and he's like, just send me stuff. I'll start cutting stuff together. He's should we call him the voice of Sesame
He
Seed?
totally is.
He's the voice of Sesame Seed. He's
He
putting it
is.
together.
He's got it,
He's
man.
the voiceover
He's so
guy
good.
for all of our videos.
So good.
And Snowbeam,
Oh.
we don't ask for real names. Honestly, we just
Yeah.
ask, you know, be involved. We'll shout you out however you want. Snowbeam, he's put together all the animations. So thank you.
Yes.
And thank you for joining. And if you want to know how you can help, you tell us how you can help.
That's awesome, guys.
It's easy.
It is.
Yeah.
So, thank you all so much. This has been so rewarding.
Cheers to
It's
everybody.
been so much
Yeah,
fun.
Can we clink from the cameras over there? Chris,
Ching, ching,
I'm
Danny?
having a blast.
Clink, clink, clink. Thank
This-
you.
This is great. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Till the next time.
Guys, I just have my tea here.
Tea, beer, you know.
That's how we're signing out.
Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
having my tea here. Are we
All
done?
right,
Are we
that was
offline?
great. All right. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much.